State for the win. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the tournament.
They take a downfield shot. And the catch is made. It's Ryan Williams. Still spinning free. Touchdown! The touchdown in the first possession. Back in the game. And he's loose again. Edwards off and running. Welcome back, Donovan Edwards.
He's going for the corner. He's got it.
This is the Gridiron Uncensored.
Oh, don't mind me just sitting back enjoying that beautiful, beautiful intro and sipping on a little whistle pig here tonight. It is the Gridiron Uncensored podcast. Thank you, of course, for watching, and the team previews roll on. And tonight we are getting into USF as somebody that we think can be there, can be right in the heart of the conference championship conversation. And then, of course, that puts them in contention for the playoffs. Okay, just me tonight, and Trev's under the weather. We're doing our playoff predictions, getting into these season previews. So if you want to go check out the other teams from the group of five that we're talking about right now, go check it out on our YouTube page. It's also on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. You can find any of the past episodes there. If you want to learn about the enemy, what better way to check out and see what the hell we're talking about, what we're seeing, and what everybody else is talking about on these teams that you guys, that you at USF fans might be seeing in the regular season. All right, so first off, we're going to start off talking about a little bit 2024 action. Let me pull up the schedule from there. All right, so 2024, started off, you got a nice win, and then the Alabama game. God bless, that game was so close. The score doesn't show it, but by God, it was close until like 5 minutes left in the game, I think it was, and then things got ugly. But still, that's something that even the year before, Bama was dealing with those issues with the whole Milrose situation. USF, they went to town, and it was close. You guys almost had them, almost freaking had them. So we'll see what happens in 2025. But then 24, you go out and you get blown out by Miami. That's a tough one. Take a loss to Tulane, which is always a good team, and then Memphis, which is another stronger team last year. Navy was tough, and then losing to Rice. So it was really up and down when you look at the 2024 season, and you're hoping that you can build off some of the positives from that year. I think beating Charlotte's good, beating UAB, Southern Miss, teams like that. But then you go out and you win the Hawaii Bowl in a tough game, 5 overtimes. And but still against San Jose State team that people are talking about this year as somebody that can also make a push for their conference championship. So I think that's something you can hang a hat on, and you can push into the 2025 season. So let me take this down. Let me pull up the 2025 just for later so I don't forget, because last episode I screwed up and I started talking about USF schedules on Tulane, and so blame the whistle pig. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Either way, let's look at this 2025 USF roster and see what we can, determine. This should be a team, again, that contends. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it. Sorry, I don't have enough time to talk about every single group of five school, unfortunately, as much as I would love to, because I do love this league and all the great fan bases that are with it. So we're looking at USF over-under, from what I've seen, is 7.5. I don't know if it's official. Again, I said this on most of these group of five episodes, because like the sports books don't have them out yet for majority of the group of five teams. Unless I'm just an idiot and I've been looking in the wrong spots. I'm not a gambler except for that one time in college. But that's a long story. 7.5 is what I'm seeing for USF. And returning production-wise, they're in the high 60s. The team talent from 24/7, and again, this is from last year. It gets updated in around August. Team talent's around 69th. It'll probably be in that same position, or similar anyway, in that same variant in the 60s, 70s when the 25-year team talent composite is released. And then portal-wise, 81st in the country. So we're going to look at all this, look at the offense, defense, and just kind of let you guys know what we're seeing from an outside perspective. Coaching changes. Brad Wilson comes in as a defensive assistant. He's going to be working with Todd Orlando. Outside of that, I saw a couple, I think it was like 5 other additions from the staff, but most of them are in analytical positions, things that can, obviously help out with the team, but nothing significant in my mind as, coordinators, position coaches, stuff like that. Again, if I'm wrong, please let me know and blame your blog sites. Don't blame me. I didn't do anything wrong. Let's look at, portal wise, in 19, out 22. So not bad. And people, they initially think, oh, well, they lost 22 or say they lost 30. You got to bring in that same amount. That's not always the case. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes more is just you hope to God something works. It just depends on the staff and what you have organically to the team. So looking at, guys that have come in, you're looking for somebody that can help continue to make this offense explosive. And, there's a couple of guys that I wrote down. Nimrod coming in from Tennessee, Ruben, the entire offensive line class. You need that support. Cartavius Norton, excuse me, and then Hawkins on the safety side. Those are guys that I marked down as okay, kind of important. Duclona also from Wisconsin. That's somebody you need to watch for. But again, the entire offensive line class, I didn't write down all their names. You can look at it. I'm pulling it up on 24/7. It's something that you guys need, that depth. And, we're going to talk about that. How do you make that explosive? How do you continue to help out Brown on a quarterback? He's recovered from his leg injury, and he could have played in the spring from everything that I've read, but he had a minor hamstring issue, and they just didn't want him to get further that injury. He needs to be ready to go full on for the season. So they let the younger guys play. But on the running back side, this is where you help your quarterback, right? If you can have a running game. And again, I mentioned him, Norton coming in. That's somebody that's a big plus to this roster and somebody that can make the moves. He can hit the hole. He's a strong runner. I think he's going to help this team out a lot. And then you look at, guys like Keyshawn Singleton. He's already there. He's somebody that can stretch the field. You bring in a couple of wide receivers. Again, mentioned Nimrod. So he stood out in spring from what the reports that I've been reading. Ruben coming in from Stanford. Guys that can help. So there's your 3 receivers. And that's not even the guys that are already on your roster. The younger guys, let's see what they can do when they step in. Offensive line, again, that's somebody we mentioned, need help there. But there's experience on the line. It's not just, a barren room. Some of these guys that play, they've been there. But not all production, returning production is good, right? So I always, I've got a list of 4 things that you need to return to be a contender in my mind. That's continuity, coaching staff, veterans coming back, things like that. Continuity is the first one. Returning good production. Oklahoma State last year returned a ton of production. They were, I think, the highest rated team in that value. And look what happened to them. They didn't have good quarterback play. Their offensive line had issues. All these things going on, even though they all return. So you got to look at good returning production. And the other 2 things, I guess I can't tell you 2 and then not finish off. Schedule is one, and then a veteran quarterback. You guys have the veteran quarterback. We're going to look at schedule here in a little bit to determine if that is one of the 4. But again, we're talking about chits on the show. So you guys you're in that realm. Not to leave you hanging here. Offensively, though, you just get these running backs, these offensive linemen in, get them plugged in, get them, used to each other, build that camaraderie, and see who steps in. Schrader coming in from App State, that's somebody that you expect from App State to have some really good coaching and to just be a talented dude in general. McLaughlin's another one coming in from Stanford. And, that's somebody that he's been around 6'7", 295, get some help there on that end. Tight end, you brought in one over from FAU, 6'4", 245, and Sullivan, somebody that you can help out, one along the line, but also he needs to be able to get in there and, just bolster the room, be some sort of receiving threat for Brown. The younger guys on the quarterback room, from what I was reading, had a pretty good spring. But I feel like that's not a position of worry. Even if Brown does get injured again, I think you're going to be fine. Defensively, this is one that's got to be better all around, and really the focus, in my opinion, on what the staff need to be looking at in the offseason. 118th in total D last year. That's not going to cut it. It doesn't matter what freaking league you're in. That shit's got to be better. And looking at this year, they brought in transfers across. You got Silvera coming in at safety. You've got D line help in Merrifield. Ducona, I mentioned him. Lee coming in from Vandy. Texas A&M, transfer. Salazar coming in. You've got people that you can plug in and try and figure out what's the best setup we can find. And I think that is going to plus up this team and get them better from where they were at 118th. You return vets, there's production there. That pass rush, I think you're going to be just fine. When I look at everything that I've been reading on the players that are coming in, I think you're going to be all right there in run stopping. And really that's got to be the focal point. Get the pressure on the edges and also be solid in the run. The rest, I hope your defensive backs can hold long enough. But if you don't have a pass rush, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good your backs are. Young guys stepped up. A gentleman, Gavin Leach. That's a young guy, but I read that he had a really nice spring. Got involved a lot, tackles, and somebody maybe that can step up and help out. He's a linebacker. James Chenault, as somebody that they expect immediately, along with Exume, as guys to step in, show that leadership, veteran presence, and really be a commander of the defense. From what I am reading on your blog sites and outside reports as well. Again, linebacker, USF fans know. I think you guys are really strong there. I don't think that's going to be an issue. It's the bookends, right? The back end guys in the front. How do those mesh? That determines how this season is going to go, and if you hit that over under. Linebacker strength again. Harris owns it. Schuler, those guys are it. So when we talk about this team, what you're missing, what you brought in from the portal, let's look at the schedule and see if it's conducive to getting that over and pushing for the conference championship. Well, obviously that is the goal, right? This feels like a year you've got to make that run. Early on, when you look at the schedule, I'll pull it up right here so you guys can see it too. And right here, Boise State early. That's tough. We mentioned it when we did the Boise State preview. This is a hell of a game to start off. Boise State's got a little bit better when you look at the schedule setup because they play USF and then there's a little break. You guys, unfortunately, you get the hardest damn part early. And, maybe they'll forge you in fire, right? So you got Boise State immediately, and then follow that by a Florida team they've got playoff aspirations themselves. Same with Miami. So that 3-game stretch is just absolutely disgusting. But even if you go, 0-3 out of that, it's all out of conference, okay? And you can still make a push for the American conference championship game. SC State, you get a break after that, then a bye week to recoup. Figure out what you need to do. Figure out, again, O-line fixes. What can we mesh? What can we figure out that's been going on wrong? And then you play Charlotte. They've had some changes this offseason. North Texas, the same way. Florida Atlantic, Memphis is somebody that I would circle. UTSA, and then Navy. Outside of that, these feel winnable after that bye week, that first bye week. Again, with the changes that some of these teams are all going through, Navy, I think, will be the hardest. We've highlighted them as well. As a team that returns really nice production, and that's going to be something you need to circle. Obviously, you can't underestimate the service academies. But looking at the schedule, even if you start off poorly, people will probably count you out. Hey, this team sucks, like whatever. No, I think this team has the pieces to contend for the conference and to even make a run. Even if you upset one of these three, say Boise State, you take them down early. Okay, now you're cooking with some gas there. So that's something that I'm looking at. Again, I think it's at 7.5. Even if you lose the 3 here, you may maybe lose to Navy, maybe Memphis. Okay. So I can see the 7, but I'm going to take probably right at maybe the over and say 8. I think they'll push for it. They have the potential. Will they do it? I don't know. But this is a team that I think is dangerous. USF is dangerous. People cannot overlook them. We mentioned that on the Boise State schedule. That's a hell of a week 1 game. USF, if you go in there, you have the opportunity to knock off Boise early. Watch out. That's a team that can then set the tone, 10 wins, and you're pushing for a playoff position. And that's what we're looking for. So let me know what you guys think. Again, outside looking in, and try not to blow smoke up anybody here. Try to give it, as honest an opinion as we can from the outside, again, looking in. If you know anything, if we missed anything from the spring, any reports that you guys hear, let us know, because we want to be more accurate when it comes time to picking the games too. That's why we're doing these previews. Helps us make picks in the future when we get into the regular season. So let us know what you guys think. Let us know any updates that you hear, and do it in the comments on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Follow us, subscribe, all that good stuff. We certainly appreciate it. And I guess I'm losing my voice from maybe being out yelling at the hockey game. So we appreciate you guys. Stick around, subscribe, and we'll see you down the line. Take care.